What if you were born in Australia? What would your destiny depend on? You are about to face a housing market so crazy that renting a simple room strips away half your income. You will dodge venomous spiders just to go to work, and you will deal with a massive university debt that automatically comes out of your taxes. Welcome to a brand new series where we live an entire life from birth to death in different countries across the globe. Today, this country is Australia. Are you going to survive the extreme cost of living here? How will you ever afford a house in Sydney? What do locals actually care about when choosing a life partner? Will a massive university debt ruin your future? You will find out the answers to all these questions in just a few minutes. Population is roughly 26 million people. The land area is over 7.6 million square kilometers. Your absolute chance of being born here is about 0.3%. This is an incredible place where 80% of the unique animals are found nowhere else on Earth. A beautiful country where the minimum wage is one of the highest on the planet. But it is also a place where a basic iceberg lettuce once temporarily cost over 12 Australian dollars, making it almost 8 US dollars. Now let us return to our heroes with completely different destinies. Oliver is from Sydney, the absolute largest and most expensive city. His busy parents are a mid-level bank manager and a hospital nurse. Chloe is from Alice Springs, a small remote town right in the dusty red center of the Outback. Her parents manage a local roadhouse, taking care of tourists and repairing broken cars. Oliver lives in a completely average 3-bedroom apartment in the crowded Sydney suburbs. Space is very tight and extremely expensive. Chloe lives in a single-story house made of weatherboard with a massive backyard full of dry red dirt. Australian kids start daycare around 6 months of age if both parents are working. Daycare is insanely expensive and mostly run by private companies. Before government subsidies, it easily reaches 150 Australian dollars per day, which is around 100 US dollars. This early childcare takes a massive chunk of a family budget. Kids start primary school at age 5. A unique and strict rule here is no hat, no play. Because the Australian sun is incredibly dangerous and harsh, if you do not wear a wide-brimmed hat, you are strictly banned from playing outside. Preparing for school costs about 700 Australian dollars a year, which translates to roughly 460 US dollars for specific uniforms, black shoes, and bags. Oliver goes to an expensive private Catholic school because Sydney parents are heavily obsessed with private elite education. Chloe goes to a very standard local public school. The day starts at 9 in the morning and finishes exactly at 3 in the afternoon. They have standard lessons like math and English, but competitive sports are absolutely mandatory. After school, Oliver takes expensive private swimming lessons. Chloe rides her dirt bike around the quiet town and plays Australian rules football. High school final exams are called the ATAR. This is a massive pressure cooker situation. This single ranking number completely decides your entire university options. The stress is overwhelming for teenagers who study late into the night. What do you guys think about a single massive exam deciding your entire academic future? Let me know in the comments below. There is absolutely no mandatory military service in Australia. Joining the Australian Defence Force is a completely voluntary career choice for both men and women. If you choose to join, you get paid a very competitive salary from day one of your basic training. Getting into a good university depends totally on that stressful ATAR score. There is no free university, but citizens use an amazing government loan system called HEX. The government pays your tuition up front, and you only pay it back slowly through taxes once your annual salary reaches a certain high level. Tuition costs around 10,000 Australian dollars per year, equal to about 6,600 US dollars. Oliver goes to the famous University of Sydney. He lives at home because renting near campus costs around 600 Australian dollars a week, week, which is around $400 just for a tiny, depressing room. Chloe moves completely to Adelaide for university. She has to pay for student housing, surviving on cheap instant noodles, and working late-night shifts at a noisy local pub just to survive the insane grocery prices. Food alone takes at least 150 Australian dollars a week, roughly $100. University schedules are surprisingly light, often just 12 to 15 contact hours a week, carefully leaving plenty of time for tired students to work part-time. Finding a professional first job takes about 3 to 6 long months. The entry-level salary for a fresh graduate is roughly 65,000 Australian dollars a year, which means around 43,000 US dollars. The standard work week is 38 hours, happily running Monday to Friday. But the real waking nightmare is housing. Oliver desperately wants to buy a basic house in Sydney, but the median price is over 1.4 million Australian dollars, creating a giant wall of around 920,000 US dollars. It is mathematically almost impossible without wealthy parents helping out. Chloe happily rents a small apartment in Adelaide for 450 Australian dollars a week, which takes around 300 US dollars. Half of their monthly salary instantly vanishes into housing costs. A quarter heavily goes to expensive fresh groceries and public transport, leaving them with just a little bit for weekend beers or saving up for a much-needed distant vacation. Australians are very laid back and casual when it comes to dating. Couples mostly meet through popular dating apps, at noisy local pubs, or through mutual friends at sunny weekend barbecues. When looking for a partner, the opposite sex rarely cares about flashy wealth or arrogant status. They actively look for a great sense of humor, a relaxed attitude, and someone who deeply loves the outdoors. There are slightly more women than men in the major coastal cities, but the hot outback towns have way more men doing heavy mining and farming work. It is very common to live together comfortably for years without ever getting married. This is called a de facto relationship, and it holds the exact same legal rights as a formal marriage. If they do decide to marry, the average age is over 30. A typical fun wedding costs around 35,000 Australian dollars, forcing couples to spend about 23,000 US dollars. Couples normally pool all their hard-earned savings together just to pay a stressful deposit on a heavily mortgaged house. Australian families typically have just 2 kids. Mothers get 20 weeks of paid parental leave from the government to heal, and fathers can happily share this time to help out with the crying newborn. This vital support really helps families survive the exhausting early months without totally losing their critical income. Raising kids here is incredibly expensive. What do you think is the hardest part about starting a family with such high costs today? Tell me in the comments. Yet retiremento officially starts at age 67. Australia has a brilliant mandatory system called superannuation. Throughout your long working life, your employer legally pays extra forced money into an investment fund just for your distant retirement. A truly comfortable and safe retirement requires around 690,000 Australian dollars, asking you to have around 455,000 US dollars saved up. If you somehow have no savings, the government mercifully pays a basic age pension of about 1,100 Australian dollars a fortnight, leaving you with roughly 720 US dollars. Living only on this basic government pension means strictly counting every single penny and seriously struggling to pay winter electrical bills. But those lucky ones with good superannuation perfectly spend their golden years traveling the gorgeous coast in a giant camper van, enjoying the endless beaches and sunny warm weather. So if you were born in Australia, would you eagerly choose the chaotic, expensive hustle of Sydney, or the quiet, dusty, hardworking life of the vast outback? Which path would give you the ultimate happiness down under? Let us discuss your choice in the comments.